Hello, good afternoon. It's News Today. I am MFA Akosiadeti. We are live from our studios here in Kukumlimli, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. This afternoon, high treatment cost, late diagnosis and weak health system keep childhood cancer survival rate low in Ghana, where 1,200 children are diagnosed each year. We have details as only 2 in 10 Ghanaian children survive cancer, despite a global cut of 80% in high-income countries. And as well in the news this afternoon, scores of parents and students besiege school resolution centers seeking to secure a place in available senior high schools. As our President Mahama warns that without regional solidarity, the threat of terrorism could spread across West Africa. More, as he says, ECOWAS is maintaining dialogue with the 3 Sahelian nations that have withdrawn from the bloc to form the Alliance of Sahel States. In the next minutes, here on News Today, we have all the package for you. JoyNews, independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay. Here are the details for today. Now, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana GoldBod, Sammy Gyamfi, has dismissed claims that the newly established body is promoting illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Speaking on Joy FM's Super Morning Show, which discussed the government's commitments to fighting Galamsey, Mr. Gyamfi said it was wrong to blame GoldBod for a problem that troubled the country for many years. He explained that Galamsey existed long before GoldBod and had already reached a worrying level before the company was set up.
In stipulating our functions, Parliament said impression, but the impression they are is that GoldBod is promoting Galamsey. You see, and my simple question to them is, how can a 5-month-old statutory corporation, GoldBod, be responsible for an age-long Galamsey problem? Galamsey has been with us for decades. Galamsey has been with us for decades. This is last year there was no GoldBod, yet we saw a lot of protests against Galamsey because Galamsey had reached unprecedented and alarming levels. So how can you say that a corporation that was established barely 5 months ago is the one to blame for Galamsey? I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, then again, GoldBod, before you went on a break, you wanted to find out if the GoldBod Act even provides for the fight against Galamsey and all that. GoldBod was established to support the promotion of sustainability initiatives and environmentally friendly mining practices. If you look at section 3.1, I believe G and H of the GoldBod Act, we have that function. So GoldBod is rather supposed to come and support. We don't have that mandate. The mandate is that of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and their allied agencies like MINCOM, supported by the Ministry of Environment. They have that statutory obligation to fight Galamsey.
Also, Mr. Gyamfi stressed that GoldBod's role is clearly defined in law to promote sustainable and environmentally friendly mining, not to take over statutory fight against Galamsey. According to him, the direct mandate to combat illegal mining lies with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and its allied agencies, highlighting the corporation's achievements so far. Mr. Gyamfi said GoldBod has already made a difference within its short existence.
In stipulating our functions, Parliament said, GoldBod, since you will be in that space trading, you should support the fight. So, and in less than 5 months since our establishment, we've done what no institution in Ghana has done. This National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, which was formed to be a multi-sectorial, central coordinating body for this Galamsey fight, for us to optimize resource. They didn't have money. They didn't have vehicles. In less than 5 months, GoldBod has given them 5 million Ghana cedis and 5 Toyota Hilux vehicles. And we plan to give them more vehicles. And since we gave them that support, we've seen the renewed fight all over the place. Colonel Boa, the leader of NAMOS, was in my office thanking me. That's, I mean, it's not been easy. Getting results to it, sometimes getting even fuel to move and all that is challenging. Because the work entails a lot. And no matter how much we are allocated, it's just not enough. And so we need people to support. So how come, I'm coming on, so how come the same GoldBod that is supporting the fight against, established to support the fight against illegal mining, and is actually supporting the fight against illegal mining by putting in resources, be accused of promoting Galamsey? Now, the third point, before I come to your question, is that there has always been a market for gold anywhere in the world, including Ghana. Have we ever woken up to any news that there is stranded gold in Ghana? People have gold and they don't have people to buy.
There's always demand.
There is always demand. There is always a market. People always buy. So before GoldBod, gold had a market.
Now, still on illegal mining, the Ankobra River is dying, and the government says it's war after witnessing firsthand the shocking extent of pollution by canoe. The Land and Natural Resources Minister have announced that a permanent military base will be stationed along the river to stop illegal miners and protect one of Ghana's most vital water bodies. Correspondent Natalia Kwanzaa has the details.
From Pristia to Sangoma, where the Ankobra River stretches, it's 190 kilometers. For the past 3.5 months, our main concentration has been on the land and then on the river. But I want to stress that our interest is on water bodies and forest reserve. We've done a lot of operation on the land, and we have shifted now on the river.
What was meant to be an hour canoe ride on the Ankobra River turned into more than two, a journey that revealed the scars of illegal mining deep on the Ankobra River. The Land and Natural Resource Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa joined the Western Region Security Council on Thursday to inspect Galamsey activities at first hand along the Ankobra River. Instead of a clear water, the river flowed thick and milky brown. Just minutes into the journey, the team encountered a Galamsey makeshift hub made of wooden and plastic structures, known as Chinese Town. Now, a Galamsey hub carved out of what was once a cocoa farmland. Women and children were left behind as miners fled at the sides of the delegation.
You see all this crowd right here. Nobody is planting any food. Everybody here is focused on destroying the water.
Further upstream, devastation spread wider. Hundreds of chamfans clogged the river. Pumps, pipes, and heap of sand lined the banks like monuments to destruction. So behind me is a pit dug by these illegal miners, just few minutes walk from the Ankobra River. This is to remind us that this war is not something that we should just be playing around with.
The people who are doing this have declared war on the people of Ghana, period. They are not simply looking for gold. They've decided to completely decimate the Ankobra River. And they don't care what happens to anybody else. I think this is one more reason why we have to put our money where our mouth is. And I hope I can bring the Minister of Finance, my good friend, here to understand that we need to mobilize all the security forces to stay here permanently.
Now, let's turn our attention to another serious matter in this country. Now, in Ghana, about 1,200 children under 15 are diagnosed with cancer annually, yet only 20% survive, compared to more than 80% in high-income countries. Globally, childhood cancer is one of the leading causes of death among children and adolescents, while 8 out of 10 children in developed countries survive. In low and middle-income countries like Ghana, less than 3 out of 10 are cured. Experts say Most childhood cancers are curable if detected early and treated properly, but delays in diagnosis, prohibitive costs and also limited facilities mean many Ghanaian families face impossible odds. As part of our special series on childhood cancers, we put the spotlight on young Lassa, who bravely battled leukemia. For many children, access to treatment and support remains out of reach, but Lissa's story was different. She received significant support from businessman and philanthropist Ibrahim Mahama, who sponsored her treatment abroad. Despite the effort and care she received, Lassa sadly lost her battle.
It's about 5 a.m. Sunday, and little Lassa is wheeled out of the Rich Hospital. The ambulance takes Lassa to Kotoka International Airport, with her loved ones following in a convoy. The 10-year-old once lit her home with laughter, but she's now locked in the fight against leukemia. Her family sold almost everything to save her, until the CEO of Engineers and Planners and Jata Cement, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, stepped in to cover the over $100,000 treatment costs. At the airport, her family gathers for prayers.
We thank you, and we know everything has done.
Amid hug and whispered words of encouragement, her mother struggles to hold back tears.
My girl has a chance to life again, because all hope was lost. We didn't know how we were going to be able to raise that amount to treat her and to pay for all our bills, our accommodation, everything. We are very much grateful to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. She's excited. She's looking forward to the treatment. She wants to go back to school. So she's very happy and very optimistic.
Among those at the airport is the man who made it all possible, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. He has personally come to see Lassa off, ensuring she had the emotional support she needed. Doctors advised that Lassa is given specialized care and safety of an air ambulance, an expense Mr. Ibrahim Mahama fully covered.
Well, what does the data show? Lead data and research analyst here at JoyNews, Isaac Kofi, is in studio. Kofi, what have you been digging?
It's rather unfortunate that Lassa is part of the statistics. It's not just about numbers, but people's lives being lost. And in Ghana, if you look at our situation as far as the the WHO is concerned, about 1,200 children suffer with cancer every year. And that simply tells you the statistics you spoke about. I mean, if you look at this number of diagnoses, just about 20% are able to get, survival. So it simply means that if you select 100 of our children who are battling cancer, different forms of cancer, just about 20 of them will survive. About 80 of them will end up dying, especially because the cost of treatment involved here is very, very expensive. If you look at Lissa's case, for instance, she needed about over $100,000 to do that sort of treatment. And that usually becomes a bane on families, and it's a difficult situation for them. But unfortunately, although you have some, children getting access to treatment, just about 42% have access to cancer treatment in the country. And we understand that the president under the Mahama Cares, program is hoping to enroll children with cancer on this, new, health card that will help to treat children, because even those who get that form of treatment, only about 85% of them are able to go through the entire process, which means that with that 42% who are able to get the treatment, not all of them are even able to go through the process, and many of them end up dying. And in fact, if you look at treatment and diagnosis, we are still stuck within this threshold of 20 to 30%. It means that about 70% of the cases are not able to go through diagnosis and treatment. And you ask yourself, these children will end up dying without even knowing the cause of their death. And that has been our situation. And that's why we are putting a spotlight on this, because it's not just Galamsey that is killing people, but also childhood cancer is also killing people. A lot of children are suffering from leukemia. And it's unfortunate that if you select 100 of our children who are battling this, cancer disease, about 80 of them will end up dying, and just about 20 are likely to survive the situation.
Largely because of cost, late detection as
Absolutely.
well. And they are not able to access the full round treatment because of cost again.
Unfortunately.
Well, thank you so much, Kofi. Now, away from that, President John Mahama says ECOWAS is continuing dialogue with the 3 Sahelian countries that have withdrawn from the regional body to form the Alliance of Sahel States. Speaking at the Jubilee House after receiving Germany's new ambassador to Ghana, President Mahama stressed the need for solidarity in addressing the challenges faced by the countries, particularly growing threats of terrorism. He warned that if the region does not unite in confronting these issues, terrorism could spread further across West Africa. The new German ambassador commended President Mahama for what, he described as remarkable leadership in regional and national affairs. Joining us via Zoom is Presidential Affairs Correspondent Maxwell Agbagba. Maxwell, which other ambassadors have you been have been presented today? We'll try again to see if we can get more from that. That's just happening at the Jubilee House or the presidency now. Maxwell, I'll try again. If you can hear me, which other ambassadors' credentials have been received today? Well, we'll try and bring that back to you later in the bulletin. But away from that, climate change continues to devastate communities across Africa and Asia. But a new approach known as locally led adaptation is proving that sustainable solutions are best driven by the people who live with the crisis daily. The Climate and Development Knowledge Network has been assessing the impact of the strategy with some of its partners, and MFA Etiama early reports. But quickly, before I bring you that story, I'll take you back to Maxwell as I've been able to reconnect with him. Maxwell, what more can you report from the Jubilee House?
So far, we have had the Commissioner of Kenya, the new High Commissioner of Kenya to Ghana. We've also had the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway to Ghana. Others will be present also, the Ambassador of Denmark, the Ambassador of the Republic of Sudan, the Ambassador of the Republic of Pakistan, the Republic of Senegal, the Ambassador of the European Union to Ghana, Ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt to Ghana, the British High Commissioner, who is currently in that meeting, who just presented his credentials to President Mahama and is interacting with President Mahama. But during the interaction, especially during the interaction with the ambassador, the new ambassador of Senegal to Ghana, President Mahama mentioned that Ghana will be seeking collaborations, with Senegal on how to especially promote tourism industry. He also mentioned in that conversation about collaboration with Senegal on how to prevent violent extremism, from spreading from the 3 Sahelian countries, to West Africa. He said he's committed to sharing ideas and intelligence on how to help the 3 Sahelian countries resolve the challenges that they face. During the conversation with the new Sudan ambassador to Ghana, he mentioned that he's hopeful and praying that the conflict that has bedeviled that country currently, there'll be a peaceful resolution to the conflict in that country to bring peace to the people of Sudan. So as we are speaking right now, the UK's new ambassador, new High Commissioner, I should say, to Ghana, is interacting with him. He just finished presenting his credentials. So in total, 10 new ambassadors and High Commissioners are presenting their credentials to the President today.
Thank you so much, Maxwell Agbagba. You're watching News Today, and I'll take you back to that report by Emefa Etiamwa Ali on how climate change continues to devastate communities across Africa and Asia. But a new approach known as locally led adaptation is proving that sustainable solutions are best driven by the people who live with the crisis daily. The Climate and Development Knowledge Network has been assessing the impact of this strategy with some of its partners.
Scorching heat, rising seas, failed crops, and recurring floods. These are the realities many communities face daily. For years, climate experts have prescribed solutions from afar. But how sustainable have these truly been? That question brought together over 45 participants from across Africa and Asia to Kenya. Hosted by the Climate and Development Knowledge Network, they reflected on how communities themselves are shaping change through locally led adaptation. From modern sanitation projects in Bangladesh, forest conservation in Cameroon and Benin, to science-based climate education in Ghana, participants discussed innovative solutions built with local ownership. But perhaps the strongest evidence was in Machakos County, Kenya. Faced with erratic rainfall, residents built a stone barrier across a river, creating a reservoir that now provides irrigation for more than 5,000 people. Pastor James Maria is the chairman of the World Climate Change Planning Committee in Machakos.
We also involve the community. For example, in a particular area, we might go in the particular area, see the area, and maybe call the community. What would you want us to do for you from this area? Then they will say it. Then we write a proposal, particularly on what the community is interested in. So that it is accepted. Yes. Because if you bring something they don't know or they don't accept, it will be yours.
For farmers like Jacqueline Kambua, the impact has been life-changing.
The situation here was worse, but when we got this where we got water and everything is okay. We had no water before this well was constructed. We had no water. Actually, we were fetching water from far, far away to get this water. So I think this project, we have been benefiting so much.
Young people in the community say they find purpose and steady work through irrigation and farming.
This afternoon, opposition New Patriotic Party is accusing President John Mahama of authoritarian rule, alleging he's abusing state power to harass political opponents. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, National Youth Organizer Salah Mustafa said the administration is weaponizing the newly announced software by the Signal Bureau to monitor and suppress dissent. President Mahama, in his maiden media engagement, indicated that the Signals Bureau has acquired new technology that will be able to trace IP address of individuals using hate speech on social media. But the National Youth Organizer says the use of the technology will lead to a silence culture in the media. He also challenged the Inspector General of Police to produce evidence of the claims made by Sir Obama on the possession of firearms, pointing to recent attacks in the northern region as proof of sophisticated weapons being used. My colleague Stephen Mensah was at the briefing and has joined me via Zoom to give me more details. So, Stephen, the party has announced its intention to demonstrate. When is the protest expected to happen?
To happen on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025. The party supporters and all individuals are admonished to join the protest. They'll be marching through the principal streets of Accra. They say they'll be starting from the Obra Spot all through to the police headquarters and end their march at the Jubilee House. And they're demanding one thing. They say President Mahama is promoting a silence culture. You recall that during his first maiden meet the press, he indicated that the Signals Bureau has acquired new technology that would enable them to trace IP addresses of individuals who use hate speech on social media. Salah Mustafa says this will be incorporating or enhancing silence culture on the media, social media.
Well, Steve, the party also claims that there have been a series of targeted attacks on its members. Did they cite any examples?
Yes, they cite the most recent being Abronya DC. They also cite the famous musician Shatawale. They say the president and officials are using the bail conditions as merit for remanding individuals.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking to us today, or bringing us that report from the press conference. You're watching News Today, and in other news, West Africa is taking a united stand against laser fever at a West African Health Organization Laser Fever International Conference in Abidjan. Health leaders and scientists say the fight against the deadly disease must begin with homegrown solutions, stronger cooperation, and faster vaccine development.
Lassa fever is a deadly viral disease endemic in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and other West African countries. It continues to strain fragile health systems, disrupt livelihoods, and claim lives across the region. Nigeria's coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali, says the fight must begin within the region.
Because ultimately, this disease is local to us. The solution is not going to primarily come from global. It is our problem. It is us that will rise up to invest, to mobilize our friends from the region and globally to find solution to our local problem. That is very important. I urge us to focus all on actionable steps, outcomes, practical measures that will strengthen our resilience, protect our populations, and pave the way forward for the eventual elimination of Lassa fever as a public health threat in West Africa.
Health experts say a vaccine could save lives, reduce healthcare costs, and protect economies by preventing outbreaks. Fewer infections mean less missed work and less financial pressure on families and governments. The African Union's Commissioner for Health, Ambassador Ama Chum Amwa, called for cross-border solidarity.
Lassa fever does not respect borders. Neither must our response. It is only through solidarity between our states, between our regional bodies, and with our global partners that we can protect lives, strengthen health security, and prepare for the threat of tomorrow. Let this conference be the milestone. Let us ensure that the outcomes and recommendations shared here translate into action.
The Lassa Fever Conference was officially opened by Côte d'Ivoire's Prime Minister Robert Mambe, who reaffirmed his country's support for regional cooperation.
Est une excellente initiative de l'Organisation ouest-africaine de la santé et une occasion pour approfondir la réflexion sur la sécurité sanitaire liée aux maladies émergentes dans l'espace CEDEAO.
Over 800 delegates attended, including scientists, policymakers, and partners such as the World Health Organization, World Bank, African Development Bank, and CEPI. The goal is to strengthen health systems, improve diagnostics, and accelerate vaccine development. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Also today, minority leader Alexander Fenyomakin will this afternoon engage the youth of his constituency on a number of social and national issues. The program, dubbed Youth Common Forum, creates a platform for political leaders to address important issues of national interest, including politics, unemployment, among others. We'll go live now to my colleague James Aveji, who's joining us from Winneba on phone. James, what's it like so far?
Well, Emma, so as you have mentioned, this is a platform for political leaders as well as the youth make the state fight, especially on issues of national interest, and the move create a platform to address unemployment issues as well. And so the first edition started in Accra at the UPSA, where the minority leader touched on a number of things, especially employment opportunities for the youth, as well as the matter of Galamsey, how it is eating deep into environmental issues and the need for government to address that. as soon as possible. Today, we expect him to touch on similar issues and also, tell the government on the issues of unemployment and how those should be addressed within his concern. So we are here at the University of Education Winneba campus, where there is some high level of anticipation ahead of that starting in the next 30 minutes. So those are the key things we're looking out for on how some solutions will be proffered to government to tackle them in the near future. MFM.
Well, great. While we know that this is happening in his constituency, are we expecting anybody else, or it will just be him addressing the youth of his constituency?
We expect a number of political figures, especially from both the NDC and the NPP, as well as captains of industries, to also come here and share their insight on those two key issues to the students to close that gap between leadership and voters or constituents as well. So those are the two key category of persons we're expecting to speak here. But he is the guest of honor for the program.
Well, thank you so much, James. Now, public institutions across the country, including the Ghana Education Service, public and technical universities, and the Ghana Library Authority have been disrupted as the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEWU, declared a nationwide strike effective today. The union explained that the strike was necessary following the failure of authorities to address the long-standing concerns of non-teaching staff despite exhausting all established procedures. At a press conference in Accra, TEWU General Secretary King James Azotiba said members have endured neglect for too long and had no option but to declare an indefinite strike, adding that they will not back down until their demands are met.
The public universities of Ghana, the technical universities of Ghana, as well as the Ghana Library Board, the Ghana Museums and Monuments Boards, have been taken for granted. Our contributions to the smooth running of the educational system in this country is indispensable. Yet, we are constantly being sidelined when it comes to welfare, when it comes to staff benefits, and more importantly, our conditions of service, which is rightfully our right as enshrined in the Labour Act, Act 651 of 2003. Madam Chair, the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEWU of TEUC, we have exercised a lot of patience. We have shown commitment to dialogue with our social partners. Unfortunately, the issues that have affected our members remain unresolved. And promises made to us have been left unfulfilled. This persistent neglect is nothing short of discrimination and unfair labor practices, which will not be tolerated. Unfair labor practices and discriminations are both in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and the Labour Act, Act 651 of 2003. These are all forbidding acts that anybody is supposed to melt to a worker or workers group. Sister Chair, it is for this reason that effective today, the 19th day of September 2025, the TEWU of TEUC hereby declares a nationwide strike with immediate effect.
This afternoon, scores of stranded parents and students have thronged the school placements and resolution centers nationwide, where long, winding queues stretched across venues as they scramble to secure senior high school admissions through the self-placement system. Now, out of the 590,000 candidates who qualified, more than 107,000 missed out on automatic placements under the computerized school selection and placement system. At the Nat Hall in Accra, some parents and students arrived before daybreak, clutching documents and waiting anxiously for the process to begin in hopes of securing a spot. Let's go live to my colleague Collins Frimpong. Collins, this morning you brought us some updates. Now, this afternoon, how is it looking like at the Nat Hall?
So the situation is not different from our earlier engagements on the various bulletins that we have had here at the Nat Hall. This afternoon, the number of people that have trooped in is quite times 3 of what we earlier reported. Now, we've seen that people are also trying to occupy the upstairs of the building, and when you come to the main auditorium here, the numbers are huge. But the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Apak, just came here a moment ago that he engaged some of the parents and the students, and he apologized to them for the issues that the computerized placement system was facing, that at a point that the traffic, about 5 million people were trying to access the portal, that caused so much traffic that people were not able to access the system. And also, he also apologized on behalf of the government and the ministry as well as the GES with regards to the fact that over 107,000 have not been able to also secure automatic placement. And he assured them that they have put measures in place that they will be able to absorb almost everyone who qualifies and also goes through all the processes for their placements, and they will be able to meet the deadline for the school placements and also the reopening or reporting to school. So they should be rest assured there is no issue about that. But let's engage some of the parents that are here that we want to find out. Say, Dr. Clement Apak, the Deputy Minister of Education, has been here and he engaged some of you privately and also publicly. We also heard him also speaking. First of all, let me know the issues that you came here with.
Okay, my name is Roxanne in the first place. My sister had issues with the school that she chose. So we want to do a placement to a convenient place. Yes, so I'm here to change the school that she had. So that's why I'm here.
But we know there have been issues. There are deadlines that they need to get the placement done before they can report. But the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Apak, has been here assuring you people that you need to be calm and things will be done. How satisfied are you with whatever he said?
Okay, I must commend the Deputy Minister for his assurances. I'm very enthusiastic that the statement he has given is assuring. And I believe they are also doing their best to fix all the issues that we are facing at the moment. So I commend him for his assurances, and I believe the issues I'm facing will be resolved appropriately so that my child and myself will be happy. So I'm very happy with whatever is going on here.
Grateful to you, thank you. So that's it, but let's get more. Say, good afternoon, welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you.
We've seen that you've been here for quite some time now, that you've been in the queue. So far, what's the issue?
It's about placement and change and all the protocols that goes with when students begin their new career. And since morning, there have been a number of people in, and I think comparably to last 2 years, I think this year looks more organized. I mean, they've segregated the work schedule, and the minister came some time ago and reassured us that they intentionally give a moratorium of 1 month so that, I mean, all these issues will be taken care of. I think so far so good. There are people who are working briskly. So I think we are satisfied.
Have you been able to go through the process? How was it?
I mean, when you go there, I mean, the people understand what they are doing. They ask you the reason for which you are here. you explain your issues to them, and they tell you what they can do and take your details and promise to get back to you. Definitely.
I'm grateful to you. Thank you. So, MFA, this is the situation here at the NATO in the Greater Accra region. So, the Free SHS Secretariat and the Ministry, as well as the GES, have set up four different tables here. And here on my left, what you are seeing on your screen, on my left, that is the TVET table that any student or parent who is having issues with regards to TVETs will move to that particular direction and also ensure that everything gets settled. And also here, the remaining three, right from my right to far end, also belongs to the general information, general issues. Anyone who is having issues with placement, and it is not about TVET or STEM, you move to these directions and ensure that everything gets resolved. And we have 107,000 people, I must say 107,509 people in total who could not get automatic placement. But the point is that as at 7 a.m., the information that we had from GES is that since the portal was opened and people were able to access the platform, about 30,000 people as at 7 a.m. today have been able to secure placement. And also the remaining are also trying their best. You go to different places, every district at the Ghana Education Service Office, every regional Ghana Education Office or directorate, you go there. This particular exercise is also ongoing to ensure that all the people that have not been able to get their placement or also get them rectified. And there are people that they also go schools, but because of distance or due to one or two reasons, they are not able to accept those placements. They also move to these places that right here we've been engaging some of them that they tell us that to the point that some of them got school in Upper West that they did not even choose, even Upper East they didn't choose, but they are here and they've been able to rectify the information that about 1 week or 2 weeks time they will check their platform and everything's supposed to be fine for them. So this is the situation here at the NATO in the Greater Accra region. Almost over 500 people have moved in here today and are trying to get placement. Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Apak, has come here assuring people to calm down, students and parents to calm down, that they are going to make sure that everyone who deserves to be in school, who deserves to get placement, goes through the process and the person will get placements.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Collins, for bringing us that detailed report from the NAT Hall. Now, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has instructed Professor Johnson Nyako Bompom, Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, to vacate his position for remaining in office beyond the compulsory retirement age of 60. The Commission referenced Article 199, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, which requires public officers to retire at age 60, as well as Statute 8.2 of the UCC Statute 2016, which allows a vice-chancellor to serve for a maximum of 2 terms, provided it does not exceed the statutory retirement age. Following this directive, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dennis Walanyo Aheto, has been asked to act in the interim. GTEC has also directed the Governing Council of UCC to suspend the appointment of a substantive vice-chancellor until the High Court in Cape Coast rules on a case connected to the matter. Copies of the directives were sent to the Minister of Education and Chancellor of UCC, the Council Chair and Registrar, the Director of Finance and Internal Auditor and Chairman of the Vice Chancellors, Ghana. You're watching News Today. Please stay. There's more.
It's now time for business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and out of first business story. Export value for companies under the Ghana Free Zones Authority has hit $1 billion as at the first quarter of 2025. This was disclosed by the CEO of the authority, Dr. Mary Awusi. Speaking at the 30th anniversary launch of the Ghana Free Zones Authority, Dr. Awusi stated that she will lead a charge to ensure the completion of industrial zones in Wankra in the Ashanti region, Shama in the Western region, and other industrial zones.
With about 306 active licensed companies under its authority, the Ghana Free Zones Authority continues to champion industrial growth in the country. Comprising a blend of wholly Ghanaian, foreign and joint ventures, these enterprises contributed about $2.2 billion in non-traditional exports by the end of 2024. The Minister for Trade, Industry and Agribusiness and Board Chair of the authority, Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare, reiterated the ministry's vision of establishing specialized economic zones to promote industrial growth.
Over the years, Ghana has pursued bold policies to position itself as a competitive hub for trade and investment. However, ladies and gentlemen, to sustain the scale these achievements we have, we must evolve. This is why my ministry is championing the transformation from export processing zones to specialized economic zones, which has become imperative to embrace a more modern, inclusive and flexible model of industrial development.
Highlighting the authority's contribution to socio-economic development, the CEO, Dr. Mary Ewusi, disclosed that the non-traditional export value for companies under the authority hit $1 billion in the first quarter of 2025.
Together, these enterprises have lifted Ghana's non-traditional exports from $145.4 million in 1997 to $2.25 billion as at the end of 2024. The export value for the first quarter of 2025 alone stands at $1 billion.
She emphasized the need to develop additional industrial zones to support economic advancement.
I will drive infrastructure development to accelerate the expansion of our existing enclaves while opening new industrial zones to create greater opportunities for growth.
At the ceremony, the logo for the 30th anniversary celebrations was unveiled. The theme for the celebration is 3 decades of impact, empowering businesses, transforming trade in Ghana. Some of the programs outlined for the celebration include business fora, student seminars, exhibitions, and an awards and gala night.
We have more business update for you on the marketplace. Stay tuned after this break.
Time now for showbiz. I am Lois Shola Adeyemi. Now, every love story, every broken heart, and every celebration had a soundtrack, and often it was sung by Dada KD. Today, he's silent, but before the silence, there was a voice, a melody. Today, we remember him through the timeless songs that continue to speak long after the music stops.
He gave Ghanaians melodies that became the soundtrack of their lives. With a career spanning decades, Dada KD became a pillar of Ghanaian music. As Ghana prepares to bid him a final farewell this weekend, we remember not just the man, but 5 of the timeless songs, not just for his voice, but for the powerful stories he told through music. Here are 5 of his timeless songs. Mira, meaning my love or my person in a can. This romantic ballad celebrates deep, loyal love. With heartfelt devotion, Dada KD affirmed the kind of commitment that resonated strongly with couples. Fatia Fatankroma. A poetic love story comparing a perfect couple to Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah and Fatia. In it, love is smart, romantic, and unforgettable. Somuje, translating as come and take. This song is filled with heartbreak and emotional pain. It tells the story of a man surrendering a love too heavy to carry. Odomwe Nijebi. An uplifting track that celebrates the laughter and joy love can bring. Its catchy chorus made it a fan favorite, reminding us that love is meant to be danced to. Honey Love, a song that showed Dada KD's growth as an artist, blending smooth production with tender lyrics to express the sweetness of love and the desire to protect it. Dada KD may be gone, but his music lives on as Ghana prepares to say a final goodbye on September 20 and 21. We hold on to the songs, the memories, and the legend.
Well, of course, Dada KD may be gone, but we hold on to his songs. And that will be all for Showbiz. I am Lawyer Shola Adeyemi. Emma Fadeti, do you have a favorite?
Of course, that I love Dada KD. I totally love him. But I hope that he's resting in peace. And thank you for bringing us that very nice report. And that'll be all for today. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti. Thank you for watching the news. Do log on to my Joy Online if you want more news. Thank you for watching.